Alright, in this video, I'm going over the exact resume that got me 180K suite offers in the Bay Area. I'm going to literally go over every section of the resume so you can literally just copy it. First, a little bit about my credentials. Back in the 2025 recruiting cycle, I ended up getting offers from Amazon and Google. Here's the offer letter from Amazon, and here's the actual team matching from Google. A lot of people say they got an offer from Google, but then they didn't actually team match, so ask them for the proof about that. I've also worked with creators like NeetCode. I built out the entire machine learning section of NeetCode. If you click this link over here, GPT Learning Hub, this is my company. This is my other YouTube channel where I post AI and machine learning content. I also run a community where I actually help students, new grads, and early career engineers land offers in big tech. This is our Slack channel, and our students are crushing it right now. Here's Kevin. I mean, you can literally see here that he just got an interview at OpenAI, which is absolutely insane. If you scroll down here, let's see. Yeah, he just got an offer from Visa, which is also pretty sick in today's market. If you want to learn more about that, link is in the description. All right, as promised, let's get into this resume, and you're going to want to pay attention to the entire video because I'm literally going to give you the exact tiny details that you need to have on your resume to get past ATS and actually have your resume selected by a recruiter these days, especially if you're aiming for big tech companies in the Bay Area. All right, first things first, top of the resume, pretty standard. Phone number, email, LinkedIn profile, and GitHub. I mean, if you don't have that, you're cooked. Those are like the essentials for any sort of CS major. Make sure you actually have a GitHub profile at the top of your resume. Another thing, you'll notice that the actual URL is here instead of it just saying GitHub and then being hyperlinked, or LinkedIn and then being hyperlinked. There's a reason for that. It's because when it gets parsed by ATS, if you just have LinkedIn and then it's hyperlinked, or GitHub and then it's hyperlinked, it's not going to actually parse. You need to have the actual plain text URL. Just a small thing, but all the small things can add up. When you're really competing against thousands of applicants for every single role, you need to make sure every single section of your resume is totally optimized. Next, just zooming out a little bit, you'll notice that this is literally in Google Docs. So you'll see a lot of people tell you to make your resume in LaTeX or latex, however you pronounce that. I mean, I would say that's honestly overkill. I got into companies like Amazon and Google by just having my resume in Google Docs. For all the students in this community that I showed you earlier, I mean, they're crushing it right now and getting interviews at companies like OpenAI, and we literally built out their resume in Google Docs. And of course, we export as a PDF. We're not sending a Google Doc link to recruiters, but Google Docs is totally fine. I wouldn't worry too much about LaTeX or latex or something like that. Next, this is also pretty standard, but your education section needs to be at the top of your resume. And the reason for this is because if it's at the bottom of your resume, recruiters are going to think you're like a senior engineer and you're more experienced, and they're going to judge you way, way harder. So let them know that you're early on in your career. If you're a new grad or still in your first 1 to 2 years, have your education at the top, and trust me, they'll judge you way, way, way easier. Just have the education section at the top. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at the work experience section because, well, let's face it, this is probably the most important section of the resume. So there's really two things in the work experience section that you need to pay attention to. The first is the titles for your roles, so the actual titles that you put, and then the actual bullet points themselves. So first, let's go over the titles. You'll notice that all three titles are the same here. Software engineer, software engineer, software engineer. This is so crucial. So I literally spend all day just reviewing resumes for all of the students in our community, and so many of them have issues on their resume where one of them is like full stack developer, the other is like research assistant, the other one is a back-end developer, the other one is a lead engineer. They have all these different titles on their resume, and this is actually hurting your chances of getting interviews, and here's the reason. There's two reasons. One is that recruiters like it when all your titles are the same because it shows that you have this cohesive work experience. It actually looks like there's some kind of track record or consistency in your work history. The other reason is that the ATS specifically looks for titles on your resume. So if you're applying to a software engineering role, the ATS is checking to see if you have previous roles on your resume where the title was software engineer. But if you put it as like full stack developer or some shit like that, then it's not going to actually get, registered with ATS. So recruiters like it when they actually look at your resume because everything looks consistent. And then B, you need it for ATS. So go to your resume right now or whenever you're done watching this video, and if you have any titles like research assistant at your school, or full stack developer, back end developer, just change all of them to software engineer. And a lot of people are afraid to do this because they think you can't change your titles, but it's your resume. You can put whatever you want. No one's verifying this. Just put all the titles as software engineer. Trust me, it'll help. And then now let's get into the bullet points because these are important. You'll notice that every single one of these bullet points literally has quantitative impact on it. I mean, serving 10 million plus real-time predictions, improving search accuracy by 20%, system throughput by 30%, end-to-end response accuracy by 30%, less than 15-second visualization updates. I think you get the point. Ideally, every single bullet point should have that, percentage-based quantitative impact, because let's be real, non-technical recruiters, they're spending 7 seconds skimming your resume, and if there's any bullet point that is missing that impact, they're skimming over it completely. They're not even going to bother reading it. They're not paying attention to the actual tools or technologies on your resume, like PubSub, GCP, RAG. They're not looking at that stuff, SQL. All they really care about is the numbers. They want to see, did you make an impact? So you need to have that in like every single bullet point. Some of you probably have it in 1 or 2 bullet points of your resume, but you need to have metrics and quantitative impact in literally every single bullet point. Otherwise, recruiters are going to, throw your resume into the discarded pile. And some people are also like unsure about what their quantitative impact was in their previous work experience. Dude, you can literally just make it up. And obviously don't completely lie. It has to still be reasonable, and it has to be, an educated estimate, but you can more or less just give a rough estimate of what your impact was. It doesn't matter if you actually, precisely measured it in your previous project or work experience. Just give a reasonable rough estimate that you can like reasonably defend if you're asked about it. But again, a lot of people are afraid to do that because they're like, I don't know if it's true. Stop being a wuss. Just put the quantitative impact on your resume. Try to use your best judgment. Like, don't put anything that's completely fabricated or unreasonable, but just use your best judgment and get it on your resume. You need to have that in almost every single bullet point. And again, for all the students I've worked with, once I fix their resume and actually do all of these things, they start getting crazy interviews. So implement this onto your resume, and I promise you will start to get more calls from recruiters. All right, the bottom section of the resume is also one of the most important sections. This is where we spam keywords. A lot of people say that you shouldn't do that. They're on some kind of moral high horse. They're like, oh, it's not ethical. Dude, you need to have certain keywords on your resume to get past ATS. So just put as many of them on there as you can. The one, caveat is that don't just put technologies on there that you've never even heard of, right? I think that's a little unethical. You could get caught in an interview if they go ahead and ask you about it. But if you've touched a technology at least once, if you're reasonably familiar with it, just throw it on your resume, because the more you have on here, the better, because you straight up will get past those keyword scans that companies use. Again, there's nothing unethical about it. It's simply part of playing the resume game. So get as many keywords in the technical skills section as you can, and I promise you will start to get more interviews. All right, that's pretty much it for this video, but if you want one-on-one guidance from me and my entire team of FANG engineers with the whole recruiting process, just click that link below and you can book a call with me. We work on your resume, we run you through mock interviews, we help you get referrals. We literally do everything for you that you need to land a big tech offer. And the best part is that if you don't actually land a big tech offer by the end of our program, we literally give you a full refund. So we guarantee that you get a big tech offer, and if for some reason you don't, then we literally just refund every penny and you don't pay a single dime. So click that link below, book a call, and learn more about how you can land your dream job offer. Take care.